Several different trim levels for the 2023 Elantra. First one being the SE, starting at $20,500, which, by the way, is a modest $650 bump from the 2022 model year, which is pretty on point for the 2023 models that I've been testing. It's right about average as far as price bumps go. SEL trim level, that is the one we were in today, starting at $21,750, limited for $26,350, and lastly the N line starting at $27,050. But as you can imagine, with all of those trim levels, there are actually two different power plants available for the Elantra. First one is going to belong to the SE, SEL, and limited trim levels. That one is powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, putting out 147 horsepower at 6,200 RPM, 132 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,500 RPM. Power is sent to the front wheels through an IVT, that stands for Intelligent Variable Transmission. So if you were comparing it to the Civic or the Corolla, it's a CVT, basically, continuously variable transmission. But 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 8.4 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 30 in the city, 40 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so then there is one other engine configuration. That one is going to belong to the N-line trim level. So that one is a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 201 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 195 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,500 RPM. Power sent to the front wheels through a 7-speed dual clutch. 0 to 60 time, approximately 7.5 seconds, with MPG numbers 28 in the city, 36 on the highway, but yet again, taking regular unleaded fuel. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our Elantra, did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There is a drive mode button kind of located just to the left of the shifter. They will include normal, sport, and smart, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Elantra here up to speed. All right, so I got us in sport driving mode already. We're just gonna do a slight rolling start here, but go, baby. He's right. Keeps the RPMs high, I will tell you guys that. But yeah, you're not gonna have any issues emerging onto the highway, but not the quickest thing in the world, but it's pretty on par for the segment. I'll put it that way, right on par with the Corolla and the Civic. But yeah, it holds the RPMs high when you really get on it. Maybe it's because of that sport driving mode, like I was saying. So that is pretty cool. And you can definitely tell it's a heavier steering feel, but we'll get more into that in a little bit here. I'm gonna put it back to normal driving mode. And as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 11-inch ventilated front discs for the SE and SEL trim levels, because it actually is gonna differ. That actually gets bumped up to 12-inch ventilated front discs then if you were to go with the limited or the N line. So expect slightly better braking power with those two trim levels. In the back, 10-inch solid rear disc. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that is going to come in an incredible 116 feet. That is brilliant. Let me go ahead and test a brake. Whoa. 100% on the firmer side of things. And like I said, that 60-0 stopping distance number, honestly, if you guys look up all the numbers, and I can tell you in the past 700 plus cars that I've driven, 116 feet, that's brilliant. Usually with sedans, you get mid 120s, if anything lower 120s. And what I always say in my reviews is anything in the 1-teens is brilliant. Anything less than that is sports car good, basically. So 116 feet is quite brilliant, and I can tell you guys it is 100% on the firm side of things when it comes to that braking feel, which is a good thing. Gives you a better feeling of being in control. It instantly brings you to a stop. So braking is definitely the Elantra strong suit, without a doubt. That is 100% on point for that number. So anyways, then touching on suspension and handling. Up front, you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, torsion beam rear axle if you go with the SE or SEL trim levels. Another one of those things is going to be slightly different depending upon the trim level that you go with, because if you go with the limited or the N line, you're going to get an independent multi-link rear suspension. So we do have the torsion beam rear axle. Either way, you still get front and rear stabilizer bars. I also want to mention that as far as ride quality goes, it feels like it's segment. I'll put it that way. You can feel a decent amount of the road, but that is to be expected in really any compact car. It feels exactly like the Corolla or the Civic, I'll put it that way. So it pretty much is as expected, like I said. As far as steering feel goes, In the normal driving mode I still have it in, it's definitely on the looser side of things, I will say that. But again, it kind of feels like the Corolla. The Civic, I would say, out of the three I've been comparing in this video, is definitely the heaviest steering feel. But like I said, if you put it in that sport driving mode here in the Elantra, that is a much heavier steering feel. So that is an available option if you prefer that kind of steering feel on the firmer side of things. So that is available for you. So I did want to mention that. As far as cabin noise goes, as we're going I don't know, 40 miles per hour right now, it's honestly not that bad. It's pretty much, again, on par for the segment. You get a little bit of road noise. Wind noise is pretty much at bay, so I do like that, but you do get a little bit of road noise at higher speeds, I'll say that. At touch and go visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. Definitely 100% not gonna have any issues there. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Hyundai Elantra.
All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Hyundai Elantra, finished in fluid metal, in case you were curious of our exterior color name. But as always, let's go ahead and start where this thing is made. The VIN number actually starts with the letter K, meaning the Elantra specifically is made in Korea. And I always like to point that out because even with this being a Korean brand, many of its vehicles, at least here in the US, are made in the US, like the Sonata, for example, except for the Sonata Hybrid, which is made in Korea. So little fun fact, I guess. I'm getting off topic, but as always, let's go ahead and start up front on the Elantra here. Gloss black front grille is going to come standard on the SE and SEL trim levels. Dark chrome front grille is going to come standard on the Limited. You will also get, though, some N-line badging found in that front grille if you were to go with the N-line trim level, of course. Then taking a look down to the corners there, you guys will find some front air curtains helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination, as you will often find on compact cars. Projector halogen headlights coming with the SE and SEL. That, of course, is what you guys are looking at right now. But if you were to go with either the Limited or the N-line trims, you're going to get LED headlights up front. So a little added illumination there. But either way, you will get LED daytime running lights. You will also get the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark in at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. But also coming standard for all trim levels, and you don't always get this for the segment, automatic high beams, meaning when you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams. So that is definitely very nice there. And something I always like to mention with the Elantra is it has a much lower hood line than the competition, so it makes for much more aggressive looks. So definitely a very nice looking front end, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But that about rounds out the front end of the Elantra. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of this one, black window surrounds will come standard. Chrome window surrounds, however, will come on the Limited trim level only. So did want to mention that. As far as the dividers for the windows, they are actually finished in matte black. I'll get up a little closer here to show you guys, but they are finished in matte black as opposed to gloss black as like the Sonata is finished in for some of their trim levels, I should say that. So wanted to emphasize that. Another cool little design aspect, you guys can kind of see the Z kind of running through the side of the doors, and there's no significance there, and technically it's not a Z, but it looks like a Z, and it's a cool little design element that the Hyundai Tucson also has on their side profile. So big fan of that because it looks like nothing else on the road. So I'm always a fan of different, but body colored door handles, of course, coming standard. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors as well. Taking a look down at the wheel setup, they will differ amongst the trim levels, of course. 15-inch alloys for the SE, 16-inch alloys for the SEL, although we do have some optional 17-inch alloys on our specific SEL. So there is some optional package options, convenience package to be specific, that will give you a bunch of stuff, including upgraded wheels. And lastly, 18-inch alloys then coming with the Limited and the N-line. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile here. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so starting all the way to the top here, you will find a body-colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, you kind of have this integrated rear spoiler. I'm going to kind of see if I can get a different angle for you guys, because although it's not a real rear spoiler, it is kind of integrated, kind of has this lip to it. So I wanted to mention that because I think it looks dang good. But of course, you will get the Elantra lettering spelled out horizontally as expected. LED taillights are going to come on the Limited and N-line trim levels. Otherwise, you're going to get your standard halogen bulbs back there. And just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet tucked away down underneath the passenger side in the back there. But you will find chrome dual tips if you were to go with that N-line trim level. So wanted to mention that as well. But as always, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Here is that exhaust clip. and so, but now since we are around to the back of the Elantra, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is a button on the key fob. There is a button kind of by the driver's side left foot down here from the driving position. And the coolest way though is there is a black button kind of right in the middle of the two taillights on the trunk itself. It's somewhat hidden, but that is yet another way to go ahead and open it up. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 14.2 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there's a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. There is some cargo lighting back there. There is underneath of the cargo floor a spare tire, in case you were wondering if there was that or the fix-a-flat. There's a spare tire. There's actually a decent amount of space around the spare tire as well. So if you lived in Pennsylvania like I do and you wanted to put an ice scraper back there, that is perfect place to put it basically. But anyways, then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 38 inches even. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. There's also a rear center armrest with cup holders if you were to go with the limited trim level only. And unfortunately, no rear ventilation, no rear charging ports either back there. But then making our way up to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the SE and SEL trims. Then there's going to be kind of a leather cloth combination seating for the limited and the N line. Power driver's seat with power lumbar coming with the limited and the N-line trim levels. Heated front seats though coming with the limited and N-line. They're going to be optional on the SEL that we actually do have today. I'm actually going to turn those on right now because it's kind of cold here in PA. But overall, seating was plenty comfortable. I definitely appreciated our optional heated seats that we have in our SEL here because it is still pretty cold out so far today. It's 44 degrees. So honestly, seating was plenty comfortable, like I said. So no issues there. Then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped. Then if you were to go with the limited or N-line, optional on the SEL. So I'm a big fan of that. To make your way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Hyundai logo on the one side. Then when you flip it over, a lot of buttons. Lock, unlock the button to pop the rear trunk there. The hold button with the circle, that is going to be a remote start, which comes on the SEL trim level and up, hence the reason why we have it today. There's a digital key coming with the limited, but ultimately it's all keyless entry with a push button start for the SEL trim level and up. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that silver engine start button located just below the infotainment screen. And so once started up, these gauges are definitely very nice. You get a 10.25 inch digital gauge cluster that comes standard with the N-line, but we have it today because it's optional on the SEL, but you can't get it on the limited, which is kind of interesting because for 2022, it came standard on the limited. So couple little changes there for whatever reason for 2023, but we do have that 10.25 inch screen. Otherwise, you're going to get the analog gauges that I showed in last year's review. So I'll actually leave a link to the 2022 Elantra review at the end of this video if you wanted to check that out. But digital gauge cluster, I love it because it changes with the drive modes. For example, if you put it in sport, it's going to kind of give you this carbon fiber and red hues. If you put it in smart or normal, it's going to look the same, kind of like a silver look. So I absolutely love the fact that you could change the entire look depending upon the drive mode that you put it in. But it is all adjustable, and there are steering wheel mounted controls on the right side of the steering wheel, so you can kind of toggle through like safety features, a digital speedometer when you need your next oil change. The list goes on. So I absolutely love the digital gauges. Again, I'll just say that. But so then touching on overall interior quality, if you wanted a power sunroof, go with the limited or N-line trim levels. Wireless phone charger, same trim levels for those two again. Dual zone climate control coming with the SEL trim level and up, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures there. Multicolor ambient lighting coming with the limited trim level if you wanted that. Alloy foot pedals coming with the N-line trim level. And one of the cool little aspects, I guess, to the interior of the Elantra since it first came out is you have this massive kind of grab handle separating the driver and the passenger. It reminds me of the new C8 Corvette minus all of the buttons that they put on theirs, but that is a pretty cool design aspect. And everything is tilted, including the infotainment screen, slightly towards the driver, kind of like the Nissan GTR. So it's a much more driver-centric car, which is a good thing. It kind of feels like a sportier vehicle because of that. It's kind of got these Audi-esque kind of vents, the air vents just above the just below the infotainment screen. It kind of continues on all the way across, so I think that is pretty cool. I do like the gloss black finishes right around the cup holders and surrounding the shifter as well. Just in front of the shifter, we actually have a wireless phone charger, which is optional on the SEL. I didn't mention that, so that's pretty cool. 12-volt power outlet, couple USB charging ports, and electromechanical parking brake to the left of the shifter. Again, your cup holders just behind that. Within the center armrest, you have okay amount of storage. It's not that much, but it's pretty much on par for the segment. I'll just put it that way. I like the three little contrast stitching going across the doors as well. It's a nice little design element that they didn't have to do, but they did. So
overall, interior quality is actually okay. Now, don't get me wrong, there is going to be a lot of plastic found, like the grab handle and the power window buttons, but overall for this segment, it's not all that bad. But anyways, so let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen. It is an 8-inch color touchscreen display coming with the SE and SEL trim levels, but then there is a 10.25-inch color touchscreen display coming with the limited and the N-line trim levels, and optional on the SEL that we have today. We do have that option, so that is pretty darn cool. Either way, you get Bluetooth and audio streaming, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay if you go with the 8-inch screen, but the 10.25-inch screen is going to give you wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So you just got to hook it up via USB cable, but it's kind of interesting. You would think it would be vice versa, but that's not the way Hyundai does it for whatever reason. But you can also check out your climate control settings up there. There is a voice memo system, so you can record your voice and then play it back at a later date if you wanted to. You can also adjust your ambient lighting colors if you were to go with a limited trim level, of course. Factory navigation system is going to come on the 10.25-inch screen. You could check out your weather information up there if you wanted to. It pretty much has everything. Also, of course, your radio information. And so when it comes to the sound systems, for the SE, SEL, and N-line trims, you're going to get 6 speakers, but I do like the speaker covers. It's kind of finished in a silver. It is plastic, but silver finish, so I do like that. But then an 8-speaker Bose sound system is then going to come with the limited trim level, so I did want to kind of emphasize that. But anyways, we do have the 6-speaker sound system, so what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That song is called Bikini Bottom. How stinking cool is that? Somebody is a fan of SpongeBob. But anyways, that sound system was just okay, if I'm being honest. If you like music, definitely go with the Bose sound system for the limited, but that's pretty much a pretty average 6-speaker sound system for the segment. It's pretty much like the bass Corolla would sound like, or something like that. So nothing special there, but anyways, it'll get the job done. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Elantra in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know what is behind you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, IIHS top safety pick, which pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're gonna have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, forward collision avoidance assist with pedestrian detection, a blind spot collision avoidance assist system, lane keep assist, lane following assist, a driver attention warning system then as well. Then if you were to go with the limited or N-line, you're going to get rear parking sensors. That's pretty cool. And then the limited trim level is going to add, in addition to that, highway drive assist as well, which is kind of Hyundai's level 2 autonomous driving system. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, I do like the exterior styling. I think it looks dang good. Digital gauges on this particular segment is a big win as well. Multicolor ambient lighting being available, that is awesome. Braking is crushing it compared to the competition. I love the braking in the Elantra. Definitely gives you that amazing feeling of being in control, like you could come to a stop on a dime if you needed to. So big fan of that. Not only that, you get America's Best warranty, you get 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Probably gonna run out of room to put all the pluses on the actual screen here. So digital key, I love that as well. So if your key fob dies, there is a way to still start your car when your key fob dies, but still you can use the digital key if you wanted to. So either way, don't call a tow truck, you don't need to. Wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay being available. I believe the competition doesn't offer that. I know the Corolla doesn't. The only constructive criticism I could think of is specifically for the N-line. I know there's a lot of questionable reliability when it comes to that because of the dual clutch transmission used in that. And this particular trim level, it's not the quickest thing in the world. It'll get the job done, but again, it's not going to win any races, but that's okay. That's not what it's built for. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Elantra in the comment section below. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen. If you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button. If you're into new car reviews, that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.